Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jeff Pugliese. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce 2021 Travelers Championship Member Breakfast Meeting, sponsored by Travelers Companies. This morning's event is coming to you through a number of platforms. We are, of course, coming to you through the Zoom platform. We are streaming live on Facebook Live. The event is being covered by the Connecticut Network, or CTN, and starting this afternoon, the event will be featured on the Chamber's YouTube channel for your viewing and listening pleasure. We are thrilled that you can join us today for this important virtual breakfast, which will preview this week's Travelers Championship, something that we are all very, very excited about. Today's virtual breakfast will feature remarks from Cameron Smith, a terrific young pro on the PGA Tour, who is ready to string together some great rounds this week in Cromwell, as well as appearances from leaders of the Travelers Championship, Travelers Companies, our Chamber, and other distinguished guests. Before turning the program over to Chamber Chairman Tom Byrne, I would like to invite our viewers to submit questions via the chat portal or the Q&A portal, and we will do our best to get it into the conversation. If you are joining us on the phone or via Facebook Live, you can email me your questions directly at Jeffrey, that's Jeffrey, at middlesexchamber.com. I also want to briefly thank the state and local officials that are with us today, and we have several, including Middletown Mayor Ben Florsheim and Cromwell Town Manager Tony Salvatore, a longtime friend of the tournament. And finally, as always, a quick shout out to my colleague and fellow Chamber VP, Johanna Bond, for managing the technical aspect of today's event and for truly making it happen. So now, without further delay, it is my pleasure to turn the program over to the Chairman of the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce, Tom Byrne. Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Jeff, and thank you. And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce's Travelers Championship Zoom meeting. Thanks to all of you who have joined us today. The excitement is building for the Travelers Championship, which takes place all week at the TPC River Highlands in Cromwell. And thanks to our speaker today, PGA Tour Pro Cameron Smith. We know you have a lot on your plate right now, and we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule for us today. Good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the Travelers for being our sponsor for today. The Travelers does great work in our community and has been a wonderful chamber partner throughout the years. Thanks to Andy Bessette, Executive Vice President and Chief Administrative Officer for the Travelers. Andy always kicks off this breakfast with great insight and great stories. Thanks to Nathan Grube for being with us today. Nathan is the Tournament Director of the Travelers Championship. We'll get an update on the happenings at the tournament a little later in the program. And we also have Joe Santaniello with us, who did a spectacular job chairing our Sunday Fun Day car cruise. And Joe will be speaking to us towards the end of the program. And with that, I will turn it over to the coach, Larry McHugh.
Thank you very, very much. First of all, Tom, this is Tom's last event as our chairman. I just want to thank him for the magnificent job he did in leadership through the COVID year. We had a terrific year in membership, and also the amount of events and activities we run was phenomenal. 35 to 40 a month virtually. And now we are starting to go live and we are ready to rock and roll. And that's why we're so excited about the Travelers Tournament this week with spectators, and it'll be a sold out event as it moves forward. And I am thrilled about that, like everyone else in the state of Connecticut. I would be remiss if I didn't thank Jennifer Wislocki for all of the hard work that she's done working with Johanna Bond in my office, putting this together. She is just phenomenal. And of course, Nathan has just been a terrific friend at most of our breakfasts. And if not, Jason is there as updates as we move forward. We will be on live on August 18th with Coach Randy Etzel. It'll be at the Sheridan in Rocky Hill. So as we move forward, we are starting to go live in many of our events, and I'll update people on that later. Also with us today is Andy Bessette. And Andy Bessette is one of those unbelievable corporate citizens in the state of Connecticut. As I have said many times, there is no one in the state of Connecticut better than Andy Bessette. I was honored to serve as chairman of the board of the University of Connecticut for 8.5 years. And Andy was my right-hand guy. He was a finance guy, and he was there at all times. Former outstanding athlete for the Huskies, but more importantly, with the Travelers, what he has done for this golf tournament, he has skyrocketed it to the best PGA Tour event in the country, bar none. And Andy's dedication to the state of Connecticut and all of the citizens in the state of Connecticut is something that I look up to, and I think every citizen should. So it gives me a tremendous honor to introduce my friend, Andy Bessette.
Thanks, Larry. I appreciate all the kind words. You're always so nice to me, and then I go home and it's always different. But, you know, I appreciate your leadership of the Chamber. It's been terrific. And what you do, what you've done, what you do for our state and our region and for the whole area around TPC River Highlands is just world class. You know, everything I do at work, and I say to my teams at work, I expect everybody to be world class. That's what we all strive to be. And that's so critically important. Tom, thanks for your leadership too over the last year. You've done a great job, and we really appreciate it. You know, last night I did an event with Jim Nance and a few of the players for our employees. We had like a panel discussion for 30,000 employees. And I was reflecting back and I said, you know, I missed two things last year. And I completely understand it, so I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it was a little bit sad. I couldn't go into the tower because the tower was off limits, so I couldn't give Jim a hug. And I missed giving Jim a hug. And so, and then the other thing I missed were fans. I mean, we have the best fans, I think, in sports anywhere. I'll put up our fans against anybody, and certainly the best fans in golf. And, you know, Nathan and I had a good time last year. But I got to tell you, on Sunday night on the 18th green, when we're high-fiving each other, and I'm looking around for somebody else to high-five, there's nobody there. And I'm like, Nathan, we're like, and there were a couple of people, I don't even know who they were. And I high-five anybody. But anyways, it was a very, very different year. We had to do what we had to do. But this year, we're so happy to have fans back. I'm so happy. Nathan's happy. We'll have a whole bunch of folks out there to help us cheer on all the players and Cameron and his efforts. I know he's going to do a great job this weekend here this week. So, you know, we're really proud of our partnership with the tour. And you've heard me say this before, you know, that whole title sponsorship for the tournament as an event that evolved since 1952 has been really important to us. And we've been involved since day one. You know, earlier this year, I think a lot of you heard that we extended our title sponsorship through 2030. And I remember one of the funny comments was, the person who is the champion of the Travelers Championship in 2030, and Cam, it could be you too, but it could be somebody that wasn't even born when we took over. When we took over this event in 2007, think about it. Somebody 23 years old could win our tournament. That was, to me, that was just mind-boggling. But you know what? We're really proud of our title sponsorship. We're excited about the extension to 2030. And you know what it means to me is that we ensure long-term stability to the tournament. And long-term stability is important for a whole bunch of reasons. It encourages other sponsors to say, hey, if Travelers is until 2030, we'll be in. And the players, I mean, I think I've heard from so many players thanking us for extending and for being a part of the PGA Tour for the next 10 years. And the fans, I mean, so many fans have said thank you for saving this tournament in 2007, but also for extending out into the future. So we're really excited about it. And in this year, let's get to this year. This year, what a terrific field. It's one of our, as a matter of fact, it is our best field ever. We've got 25 of the top 50 golfers in the world. 25 of the top 50 in the world. That's just amazing to me. That's great. And, you know, we've got 5 of the top 10. We've got Dustin coming back as our defending champion, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka, Patrick Cantlay, Patrick Reed. And I could tell you stories about each of them, right, that I interact with all of them on a regular basis. And past champions like Bubba Watson and Phil Mickelson, and what Phil did, right, at the PGA Championship was just phenomenal. And other crowd favorites, Ricky Fowler, Cameron Smith. I mean, we've got so many great golfers coming out this week. It's going to be a blast. And, you know, at the end of the day, why do we do this? We do it because it's great for charity. And raising money is really one of the most important aspects of the PGA Tour and the Travelers Championship. And as you've heard Nathan and I say, before, 100% of the tournament's net proceeds go to nonprofits, nonprofits like the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, who is our primary beneficiary. So, you know, this year, to raise additional funds, we're bringing out the worlds of the PGA Tour and video gaming. So we're really doing something really different. And, you know, it came to me last fall when I was with my son, who's 28, and we were watching a friend of his who does gaming, and I don't know all the words. He's a streamer. I don't know what it is. But so we developed this element to attract 20-something-year-old young people to get involved and interested in the Travelers Championship. So today, from 2:30, 4:30, 6:30, 8:30, we've got 2-hour segments of gamers playing against PGA Tour pros. And then tomorrow evening, we've got one of the very popular gamers, Carnage. I got to get that right. That's his gaming name. Is going to play against Harold Varner. I mean, this is really cool stuff. I can't wait to dial in. And it's all to raise money for the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. It's a charitable gaming where the gamers and the golfers are going to play against each other on the final 4 or 5 holes of the Travelers of the TPC River Highlands, the Travelers Championship. So it's going to be great. They're going to play PGA Tour 2K21. And I can't wait to see this today and tomorrow. And again, we'll be raising money for the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp. Okay, enough of all that. So let's talk about Cameron Smith. Cam is a great young man. You know, Mark Leishman has been a great friend of Nathan and mine for a long time. And when we got introduced to Cam some time back, it was just he's a total delight. I mean, he's from Brisbane, Australia. I guess it's Brisbane. I got to get that right. Sorry. Brisbane, Australia. And Cam has got three career wins on the PGA Tour, which is really remarkable. Excellent play by a young player, and won this year in the team event with Mark Leishman. And I got to tell you, Cam, I was cheering for you guys. I love both of you. I think you're great. And then you won that same event in 2017 with Jonas Blix, who I really like. I love Jonas. He's a great guy. And so I know it sounds like I like everybody, but you guys are all great. His other tour victory was at the 2020 Sony Open. So, you know, this is going to be Cam's 5th appearance here, which is really terrific. That's great support of what we're trying to do, Cam. And he tied for 2nd at the 2020 Masters, if you remember, and is right now number 26 in the current official world golf ranking. 26. That's a huge achievement. And he's also won consecutive Australian PGA championships in 17 and 18 and played in the President's Cup in 19. So, Cam, we're really happy to have you here. I'm excited to have you here. I can't wait to give you the trophy on Sunday night. I'm not putting pressure on you, so I'm just making a comment. I'd love to give it to you. But thanks for being here today, and we're really excited that you're here this morning to spend some time with us.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Thanks again for having me. It's always a delight to be back at the Travelers. I love the place. I love the fans here. I love the locals, and the course is a treat. So I can't wait to get started on Thursday.
Good stuff. Cameron, Jeff Puglisi here with the Chamber team. I'm going to jump in with some questions if you don't mind. I know we only have you for a bit amount of time here, but we're going to try to maximize that if that's okay with you. Just quickly, you know, kind of give us a sense of the state of your game right now as you enter Travelers Championship week. You've been playing pretty well over the course of the last couple of weeks, and you're just coming in from the U.S. Open. If you could just give us a sense of where you feel like your game is at this point, we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, I feel like it's in a pretty good way actually. Last week, you know, the course was so tough there at Torrey Pines. I made lots of birdies and I just made too many errors. I had 2 triples and a double in the second round, which is, I mean, I don't even think I've done that as a professional before. So it was very frustrating. You know, I wanted to be there for the weekend, but I feel like my game's in a good spot.
That's good. Well, we look forward to following you and supporting you throughout your journey this week. Certainly wish you the best. Back to the course for a minute here. We have a few questions that are coming in through the Q&A portal and the chat portal about, you know, what your favorite hole is on the course and just your thoughts on the course in general. We obviously love it here. We're a little biased. We admit that. but could you just give us a sense from your perspective on how you approach TPC at River Highlands, and please comment on your favorite hole if you don't.
It's always hard to choose a favorite hole on a golf course. I feel like, especially out here, I love the back nine out here. You know, the 10th is, if you start on the back nine here, you've got a really good chance to make a score, and it can also bite you in the bum pretty quick as well. Those first 3 or 4 holes on the back nine, lots of strong driving holes. But I would probably say my favorite hole is the 13th, the par 5 with the out of bounds down the left, water on the right. You just got to really step up and hit, 2 or 3 good golf shots in there.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Cam. Just going to the Q&A portal here quickly. There's a question about your preparation for the tournament during practice rounds. And the specific question is, what do you focus on during the 3 days you have prior to the start of the tournament?
I mean, just getting familiar again with the golf course, seeing how the ball reacts on the green is always a big one. Hit lots of different shots. We always step out where the ball lands and how far it releases on the green, just so we can be as accurate as possible. So that's probably the biggest thing. And then other than that, just lots of chipping and putting around the green. Make sure you get pretty tight with that, and then just get ready for Thursday and get mentally prepped, and you're ready to go.
Good stuff. Appreciate that very much. This next one's from Charlie Frago, a good member of ours, member of our golf committee, supports our efforts on that front. First, he wants to compliment you on your great hair. I know your hair has a personality of its own, and maybe even a player on the tour in its own right. But he's wondering what your favorite club in your bag is.
I would probably have to say my 7-wood. I wasn't much of a 7-wood guy 2 or 3 years ago. I put it in the bag and I just fell in love with it. I haven't changed it. It's still the same old one. It's probably about 2.5 years old now, and I just love it. I feel like it's my go-to club off the tee, or into a long par 5. Hit lots of good shots with that one.
Very good. 7-wood. Nice. Okay. Appreciate that answer. Back to the fans for a second. Andy and Nathan are, of course, very excited about the return of the fans, as are we. Just looking to get a sense of your perspective. Obviously, you've played a million practice rounds without fans, but when you really gear up mentally for some of these big-time tournaments, and then last year through the pandemic, you had to play them without fans, how does that impact your approach, your preparation, and just your overall approach to the tournament during tournament week?
I think it's just so hard to get into the zone. I feel like the fans almost get you there. There's always some background noise going on, and you really have to focus in on what you're doing. Without the fans, I felt like there was a lot of kind of fluffy moments in my head where there was just nothing going on. You didn't know if you hit a good shot or a bad shot. You kind of thrive on that, and you get so used to it over the years. So yeah, last year was definitely a bit of a weird one, and I can tell you all the players have loved having the fans back the last couple months or so. It's been so refreshing, so nice to see people's faces and some claps and some cheering as well.
That's good stuff. I know what you mean. I've gotten quite used to playing without fans, so I can imagine what it's like for you. So just switching gears here quickly. Obviously, the recent news that you'll be playing in the Olympics. That's correct, right? You're heading out to Tokyo for the Olympics?
Yep.
Awesome. That's really, really cool stuff. Just wondering, how you're approaching that. First of all, schedule-wise, when do you head out there? And are you looking forward to it? I'm sure you are. And kind of what's your approach as you enter the Olympics, which is obviously different than playing on the tour, but of course you'll be, your bread and butter playing golf there. So what's your thoughts on the Olympics here, Kim?
I mean, first and foremost, it was to get on the team. That was obviously the big goal. Now that's done. I can really just start to look forward to the tournament. I've been to Japan, a handful of times. I've played lots of good golf courses over there, so I'm sure they're going to dish up a hard, good golf course. I can't wait to get back over there. Japan, if anyone hasn't been there, is I'm very clean and like to be on time and like things in certain places, and Japan's like my heaven. Everything arrives on time, leaves on time. yeah, so I can't wait to get back over there and play some golf and, you know, experience the Olympics.
Awesome. Appreciate that. One just came in about adjusting to the time zone difference. Do you have a plan for that once you get the travel in the books and land on the ground over there in Japan, or any strategies you have to adjust before you get out onto the course?
I like to, when we make those big trips overseas, I just sleep as much as I can and when I can, basically, without being lazy, of course. You know, get in there, do your prep, and just sleep. I feel like that's almost your body's best recovery. And you know, if you're not recovered and you're not feeling good, you're not going to play good golf. So yeah, I just try to, you know, sleep when I can, even if it's after a morning round, you know, have a nap for 2 or 3 hours and then, you know, get back out to the gym and, you know, be active as well.
Good stuff. Well, we'll be watching. Certainly wish you the best there. You obviously be playing for your native Australia, which is outstanding. And there's a question that has come in through the portal here. Cameron shares his name with a famous rugby player in Australia. Has that caused any funny situations when they were confused for each other?
No, not really. I would be honoured to be confused with him. To be honest, he's one of the best players of all time. A guy I definitely looked up to growing up, and actually he just retired last year. So sad to see him go, but yeah, such a good career, and I've been fortunate enough to meet him a few times, and you know, such a great fella. But yeah, no confusion yet.
All right, interesting. That was a funny one there. Sticking with some of the international flavor here just for a minute, Andy mentioned you had played in the President's Cup. I believe it was 2019. Can you give us a sense of what that experience was like? Do you like the format? Do you like the team competition? Obviously a little different from the individual nature of golf in general, but just give us some thoughts from your perspective on the President's Cup and what that experience was like.
Yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it, especially it was at Royal Melbourne in my home country. It was my first one. The fans were great. The tournament was great, and we got so close to beating the Americans down there. But nonetheless, such a great week. Something different for us as well. You know, typically we're playing for ourselves, and it's nice to have, you know, 11 other guys on your team that you're playing for, and just makes you dig a bit deeper sometimes. And you know, it's just something different. I honestly wish we had a few more team tournaments. I do well. I've won a couple of team tournaments on the PGA Tour, and I just feel like I play my best golf when I'm almost playing for someone else. So yeah, I love it.
Nice. Good stuff there. Back to your bag for a second here, if you don't mind. There's a question about what made you go to Titleist golf clubs.
I've been playing Titleist since I was about 14 or 15. You know, it's just what I've grown up with. I love them. You know, they bring out a new club every 2 years, and they really grind to make a change for the better. And I feel like they do that, and they're not constantly changing stuff all the time. So we actually just got our new irons this week, so I can't wait to bring them out this week and give them a crack. Hopefully they got some good mojo in them.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Jumping around here, Cam. Appreciate you hanging in there with us. This question's about the state of putting on the PGA Tour. Obviously, we saw John knock down some outstanding birdie putts over the weekend to take the U.S. Open down. Last year, we had Tony Finau at this event. He did a great job as well. And he had a question about the old phrase, you drive for show and putt for dough. So could you just give us a sense of what you believe the current state of putting is on the PGA Tour and how important putting is in general to the game of golf?
I honestly still think it's number one. I know it's number one for me. I feel like, you know, it can save a bit of a shaggy round. You know, sometimes you go out to the golf course, you're not feeling your best, you don't hit it your best. And, you know, if you're chipping and putting good, I feel like you can still shoot, you know, 3 or 4 under par and, you know, not be out of the tournament. So there's lots of guys that are just trying to, you know, hit it as far as they can and go and find it and hit it up there. But the reality is you still have to putt it in. So I still think it's number one.
Good stuff here. I certainly agree with that. Just a quick question about some of the other sports that you follow or that you've been interested in. Obviously, rugby's huge in your home country. You mentioned the other Cameron Smith there, but other sports that you follow or that you played growing up and how they might impact your approach to golf.
Yeah, I basically played pretty much everything I could in Australia growing up. It was about probably 13, 14 years old. My old man told me that I have to choose a sport, and I chose golf. I fell in love with golf, but I played everything from rugby league, cricket, soccer, you name it. I was trying to do it as a kid. We have a pretty active family, outdoorsy family, I guess you could say, and that was kind of just what we did as kids growing up. I loved it.
Good stuff here. Back to the Q&A portal, if you don't mind here. Obviously, Andy and Nathan are very committed to community support initiatives and supporting charities, and the Travelers has a long and distinguished record on that front. Are there any charities that you really try to focus on, or any community support efforts that you look to highlight through your travels and through your career?
Where I'm from in Queensland, we obviously had the fires there a couple of years ago. That was pretty devastating, and we're basically still in a drought. So one of my favorite is it's a drought relief for the farmers back home. They don't get a lot of water out there, so we're just trying to do our best to make sure they have water and make sure we still have food. They need all the support they can get out there. They do a very good thing. And then another one is I actually have a scholarship where I bring over 2 juniors every year. They come and stay at my house for a week. We just practice, hang out. They just kind of ask me a few questions, and we just go and play some golf and have a good time. So it's always good fun as well.
Good stuff. Really important stuff, and appreciate your leadership on those fronts, Cameron, very much. Quickly, and again, we're jumping around here, so I appreciate you hanging in, but there's a question about travel. And, we talked about international travel for the Olympics. You're obviously from Australia, so those are long flights back and forth to the States. How have you grown accustomed to the massive amounts of travel that you have to engage in due to your profession? And do you enjoy it? Is it a grind, or have you kind of come at peace with it and just kind of deal with it as part of the job? What do you think about travel?
Yeah, I feel like towards the end of the season, it gets a bit of a grind, especially when we're making those trips overseas. We haven't had to do one for a couple of years because of COVID, but it's something that I think you just have to deal with, and you have to learn to play your best golf around that. There's no way around traveling to the next event, so you may as well make of it as what it is, and just kind of do your thing. And like I said before, I think sleep is a massive thing. If you can get on a plane and sleep for 8 or 9 hours while you're on there, it's almost like you've woke up in a different country and nothing's happened. So really focusing on that.
Get your rest. That's a great message there, Cam. Quick question about your favorite major. We all know your favorite tournament in general at the TPC at River Highlands in Cromwell, Connecticut. But in terms of your favorite major, do you have one that stands out for you that you enjoy, or one of your favorite courses with respect to where the majors are played?
Yeah, I really enjoy Augusta. I just love that place. It's always a treat to play. And it's always nice to get the invite, in the mail, letting you know that you're back there. It basically means you've done something good the last, 12 months, and you've always earned your spot there. So, I love that place. I've had a couple of good finishes there. It really suits my eye. I love how creative you have to be around the greens, and there's no place really like it.
That's good stuff. Appreciate that, Cam, very much. Well, I think we might have a few more minutes with you, Coach. Do we have a few more minutes with Cam here? I believe he's got a hard stop.
Yeah, a couple more minutes, and then we have to let him get going.
All right, understood. Understood. So what's your plan for today, Cameron, after you wrap up with us here? I know it's Tuesday of tournament week. I believe you have the Pro-Am tomorrow, and then obviously the main event Thursday through Sunday. What's your plan for today on the Tuesday of tournament week?
It was coming in from the West Coast, just trying to, tried to wake up as early as I could this morning, get back on the time zone. I'll just try and stay awake for as long as I can today. Be outside. I'll probably do a couple of hours of practice and then maybe 9 holes this afternoon. Typically, I like to do 9 holes on a Tuesday, and then the 18-hole pro-am. So, Tuesday's always kind of a bit of a weird day in that it's a gap. You typically travel on Monday and then get ready for the event Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday's the pro-am, which is always a joy, and then you get some rest and ready for Thursday. But Tuesday, save the energy, a couple hours practice, and get ready for the next week.
Oh, good stuff. If you need a partner for 9 this afternoon, I can be at the course in 10 minutes, Cam. I can be out there quick. So, another question from Charlie Frago here, who's really lighting up the Q&A portal, which we appreciate. He's wondering if you're more of a mechanical player or a feel player.
I would say probably a field player, especially I just love being creative. I love hitting shots into the greens, and I feel like I play my best golf on courses that demand, the perfect shot into the green. There's a lot of courses we play where it's really wet and you just have to hit it straight. I feel like that's kind of a bit of boring golf, and I like the old school courses where you have to work it off the tee and really think about where you're coming into from the greens.
Good stuff. Quick question about your favorite playing partners on the tour, perhaps maybe some of your friends, the guys that you're most friendly with, but who do you enjoy teeing it up with out there more so than some of the other guys?
I mean, I'd like to think that I get along with pretty much everyone. I always try and have a good time with everyone. But it's hard to go past the rest of the Aussie boys. We just kind of hang out. We grew up, in the same area. We've all got the same sense of humor, and we just have a laugh when we're going around there. We typically try and play, 9 holes on a Tuesday. But it's hard to go past those Aussie boys.
I love it. Well, we're going to have to leave it there. I really enjoyed our conversation, Cameron. I wish you the best of luck this week. And of course, in the Olympics, travel safe, be well, get your rest, and we'll be watching and cheering you on there. So thanks for taking the time this morning. Appreciate that very much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right. And send it back to Coach McHugh.
Okay, thank you very much, Cameron. You can get back. We really appreciate you being with us. Great job on the Q&A. Keep it going, and we're all cheering for you. Hopefully you'll get the Travelers Championship. We have a couple of speakers coming up. Before I get Nathan up to really give us an update what's going on, I just want to mention that we're happy to have the leadership of the Nutmeg State Games on this morning with us. And we look forward to the games coming to Middletown starting in 2022. As you know, this is the largest amateur multi-sport Olympic-style sporting event in Connecticut. They have more than 7,000 participants, 600 coaches, 500 officials, 300 volunteers, and numerous spectators will take part in the annual event. And something that I'm interested in, participants range from the age of 6 to 80. I have a shot in this group. Then as it moves forward, and we look really forward to working with Pat Fisher and his team, the city of Middletown, with our great facilities to make sure the games have a big impact next year. Now we'll have Joe Santaniello at the end give us an update on our terrific cruise night. But before that, I want Nathan to come on and maybe update us on what's going on for the whole week. I know Andy touched base on a couple things, but Nathan, huge thanks for your terrific support over the past year and years really with us. We are so fortunate. You and Andy are a great, great team, and you've done so much together to make the Travelers the best tournament in the country. So Nathan, come on.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. And thanks to Jeff and the team for putting that together with Cam. It's just one of those, you get a snapshot right into these guys' lives and, things they care about, their charities that they support, what it's like on the road. The tour is so unique. I mean, there's 156 stories like that are out here this week. And we had a pro-am yesterday where the participants, you have this one-on-one relationship with these players, and there's really no other sport that offers that. And so it's cool to kind of be able to bring, these guys to life. And then when the fans come out, to your point, they're rooting for them. They know what they're about. So anyway, thanks for giving us a platform to have Cam be able to share his story. And I mean, thanks to so many people on this call. I mean, from sponsors to volunteers, the town, the elected officials, the support, the police department. I mean, to put something on like this, it takes so many people that are on this call to make it happen. And yeah, Larry, as far as this week goes, Andy alluded to it. I mean, what a strange 15 months this has been, heading into April, May, June last year, what the tournament was, in the next year. I mean, Andy and I we usually spend a lot of time together. We have spent more than a lot of time together over the last 15 months, just really trying to make sure, hey, whatever version of the tournament this is, we want to make the state proud. We want to make the region proud. We want to make the residents proud that, we represent Connecticut with how we're doing this and what we're doing. And we are so excited, Larry, to have people back. I mean, Andy's not kidding. We were standing there when Dustin putted in as, he's the #1 ranked player in the world. And he's standing there on 18 and he putts out. And Andy looked at me and I looked at him, and it was a high five. And then we looked around and went, this is good that we have been a part of this story to bring sport back. But man, I mean, you think about the theater on 18 and what has happened there, and the noise and the energy and the excitement. And it was very weird. And so we started counting the days. He said, next year, he goes, this will not be like this next year. And sure enough, it is going to be packed this year. And I mean, the roars and the excitement, the volunteers that are out here right now, it's like a big reunion. I mean, they're going, they haven't seen each other in 2 years, and the vendors and the different people everybody that it takes, to put this on, they haven't seen each other. And so there's this general excitement and this mood that, hey, this is part of what kicks summer off in Connecticut. And, I mean, we're not what we were in 19, but we are so much further than what we were in 20. And then, where we're going to be in 22. I'm really proud of our community, all the volunteers it takes to put this on, and, the support we get here. It's fun to be back. And there is, we kick things off Wednesday with the Celebrity Pro-Am. It's just going to be, Andy and I were talking about that, when we can actually welcome people back. Those of you who know me, I might get emotional. Okay, let's just say that, but it's just going to be so good to see everybody. Somebody asked me that the other day. They said, what are you going to see on property that's different? And I said, well, first of all, each other. That's going to be the biggest difference that you're going to see from last year. So, I mean, just having everybody back is exciting, and it's a celebration, right? I mean, we're proud of what we can do with this as a community. So there's still a couple tickets available. We sold out on a few days, but there's still a few tickets out there. But I would highly recommend jumping on them really quick here at the beginning of the week. The weather looks great, and I think it's going to be a really good week, something we're all proud of. So thanks for the support to make it happen, Coach, and we will see you soon.
Thank you. And just remember, the sun always shines in Middlesex County.
Always, Coach.
And we better have it shining this whole week. Also, now Joe Santaniello, who's one of our finest volunteers of the Chamber. He just does a great job. We run a huge car show and a cruise night. And Joe, why don't you just give us an update on that great event we had 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, thank you, Larry. We did. We had an awesome day. I mean, as a new golfer, and by new I mean lessons every week from a local pro. I enjoy the sport. However, no one cheers when I tee off like Karen. It's more like a duck and cover scenario. But yeah, we had an absolutely beautiful day. The thing I really love about the car show more than the cars is just the people. It's a great event to just walk around and talk to people. Everyone's so open about telling you their story about where their car came from and the work they did to it. And that's really what it's all about. It's getting people back out there. I think the same thing Nathan said. It's just, it's a totally different experience. I mean, we're hopefully happy to return to Main Street this coming year. But I think even though we were in a smaller area, everybody just had a great time. I mean, everybody always calls me up after the car show and is like, oh, this is awesome. Thanks for putting on the event. Thanks for the Chamber for putting on the event and all the sponsors, and how good a time everybody has. And people this year, I think, were even more friendlier than normal. They were letting you sit in their cars and, taking pictures, and the crowd was awesome. It's amazing. Honored to chair the event. I think this is my third year, I think. We couldn't do such a great event without the help from the Chamber and the Chamber staff. I know I'm the one that gets to talk here, but all the work really gets done by the chamber staff, and all the volunteers that we have, because we couldn't do without them. For those of you folks that did show up or donated online or just registered your card, I wanted to say thank you to everyone, because all that money comes to help fund the Middletown youth programs, which is just really, really important. These are the programs that help grow and shape our future community with new and exciting leadership, because that's what it's all about. Maintaining the strong community that our current leaders, like the Chambers, Larry and Jeff and Johanna, have already created. So these are the programs that help bring these folks up. I wanted to thank our volunteers, the Over the Hill gang. We couldn't do it without them. They have to park all the cars. That's not easy to do. The garage guys, the military Corvette car club, obviously the chamber staff and the committee, Mohawk Manufacturing, the Middletown Police Department, and the town of Middletown. Also all of our sponsors, Napa, Key Chevy, everyone that helped really put this show on and helps us create such a great, fun, and safe event. Even though we were on the tail end of the pandemic, I think everybody was still very respectful of everybody's individual space. But it was a great event. I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to getting back to Main Street. Obviously, there's nothing quite like it, and then the chamber's kind of in the middle of everything. So I think next year is going to be really fantastic. But thank you so much for all your help, and we look forward to this next year.
Thank you very much, Joe, for your leadership. Just a couple of events coming up on June 30th at St. Clement's. We will be giving our 2021 Small Business Awards out. And also at the end of that, we will have almost a business after work. We're trying to get people together afterwards. So we're expecting a good crowd that is in person. We also will have that on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube also for those people that would rather see it virtually. And on in August, we will have Andy Bessette. He's not coaching UConn, but he's doing a hell of a job coaching the whole state of Connecticut with golf right now. But we have Randy Etzel on August 18th, which will be speaking to the chamber. That will be an in-person event, as I said before, at the Sheridan in Rocky Hill. So in closing today, I just want to say a huge thanks to Travelers, a huge thanks to Andy and Nathan, Joe also, Tom Byrne for his wonderful, wonderful leadership over this past year. Andy, I can tell you, was a former player for me back in my coaching days. He was a great offensive tackle, but I'll tell you, he's a much better leader. He's just like his dad, giving back to the community every day that he's here with the chamber, similar to you, Andy and Nathan and guys like Joe. So have a great day, everyone. See you out at the Travelers. Sun always shines in Middlesex County. We're looking forward to getting together and cheering all of the golfers on at the Travelers Golf Tournament this week. Have a great week. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Larry.